Hi, my name is Abigail Bradford, and this is my multimodal project. I'm going to share my screen, start my presentation. Okay. So my name is Abigail Bradford, and this is Every Body is a Good Body. My whole life, I have thought that being skinny is good and being fat is bad. Over the last 18 months or so, I have completely discarded this way of thinking. It has been a process of a lot of learning and discovery. I've learned how much store many people place on only outward appearance and how toxic diet culture really is as a result. I've learned what fat phobia is and how deeply it plagues our society, and I've become somewhat of an advocate in my own small way for body positivity in my life and especially on social media. This development has progressed gradually over time, so I can't pinpoint a certain time this happened, but I'm going to try nonetheless to tell my story of how this changed my life for the better. Today, rather than skinny equals good, fat equals bad, I believe that every body is good and worthy of praise simply for being the wonderful body that it is. I did not always believe this. When I did come to know this, I believed it to be true for everybody except for my own. When I went to 6th grade, I was attending middle school. I had been at my elementary school for 6 years. I was quite comfortable there, but like every other 6th grader, I had to leave my place of comfort for a very daunting prospect, middle school. It was not long after starting 6th grade that I began to have unpleasant thoughts about my body, which I compared myself to other girls who were taller and thinner than me, wishing I looked more like them. I didn't understand why I was burdened with what I thought was a too short, disproportionate body when other girls were blessed with tall figures, which paired surprisingly well with the many tall boys in my class, especially the one I had a crush on. I did eventually come to realize that at this point, I'm still growing. I had just barely hit puberty, and I shouldn't be comparing myself to other girls who are very different than me. More than that, I couldn't compare myself to other girls in my class because due to my summer birthday, I was most likely younger than almost all of them. It has taken many years for me to realize that I have been blessed with a body that is my own, which functions extremely well and astonishingly and beautifully has the capacity to one day create life. Those unpleasant thoughts present in my mind at the tender age of 11 carved a place in my brain that will always be there. I pay a lot of attention to how people treat their bodies and the bodies of others because I know how it feels to hate every inch of your body. I had not dwelled on this for a long time when I watched the Instagram story of one of my favorite accounts, a small-scale influencer named Sydney Thornton. She lives with her family in Arizona, where she is currently getting her master's in mental health counseling. Sydney's focus is on treating people recovering from eating disorders, and whenever she learns something particularly interesting about this topic, she shares it with her followers via her stories. I remember watching her story one day when she was discussing a shirt she had seen, which said something about being skinny. I don't have the exact image of it, but upon searching on Google, I found a few similar items, such as these shirts, which say, "Alexa, make me skinny," or "I don't dream big, I dream skinny." Sydney was discussing how this was an example of the plague that fat phobia has on our society. Fat phobia is, like its name suggests, the fear of fat. Whether this manifests in the direct discrimination towards fat people or the fear of being fat yourself is dependent on every different situation. Learning what fat phobia is made me see a lot of the things around me with new eyes. I realized how much fat phobia was ingrained in my own thoughts and actions. Whenever I ate a lot of unhealthy food over a short period of time, I was so worried I would get fat that I would eat only food I deemed healthy, even if I didn't like it. When I was feeling particularly bad about myself, or I noticed I weighed a couple more pounds than I had a few weeks ago, I would skip meals or eat surprisingly smaller portions because I did not want to be fat. I also realized how widespread fat phobia is in the media and in the world in general. The word skinny is always presented with positive connotations, fat with the opposite. When shopping at the grocery store, I noticed how many foods were presented as the healthier or skinny option, like skinny cow ice cream sandwiches or slim fast protein shakes. And at the checkout stand at the grocery store, I realized how many magazines had headlines focusing on losing weight or not gaining weight or being skinny or something else like that. I realized when watching TV how nearly everyone I saw was at least some form of skinny. No news anchors are fat. No leading actresses are plus sized. I saw so much diversity, racial diversity, inclusion of members of the LGBTQ community, but never diversity in the terms of body size. When fat people are represented, their body is often some sort of joke. Seeing all of this made me think about my mother, my sister, my cousin, my friend, my classmate, and so many other extremely lovely, wonderful people I know who are living in a world afraid of them and how they looked, for no reason other than that they are shaped differently than the many women seen modeling on every magazine cover, every TV ad, every sign in a store window. I thought, how can this be right? How can this be acceptable? And it wasn't just in the media and images we consume. It was present in the raging monster that is diet culture. That same influencer I first learned fat phobia from is very anti-diet culture as well. She has shared many articles and sources which state that diets just do not work. Progress made by fad diets like keto or diet programs like WW or Weight Watchers only lasts so long as you continue participating in the diet. I use the term progress lightly because, according to these diets, progress is losing weight and nothing else. These diets do not care about your health. They care, again, about getting rid of fat and making you skinny. Again, I thought, is this right at all? What place do they have saying that the bodies of some very wonderful people are in need of fixing? They don't know everyone's story. Is it their place? Is it anyone's place to comment on someone's weight? I thought a lot about this and how many times I've heard someone say, it's a shame she gained so much weight, or you lost so much weight, you look amazing. And I thought this just has to change. It's unfair and unkind. And I would rather look back on my life and be able to say, I loved myself and I loved them and told them their body was beautiful, even when no one else did. Since then, I have not been afraid to share my thoughts on why every body is good and should be celebrated and never, ever scrutinized. I made my voice heard in many different situations. In high school, I wrote a 10-page paper on how diet culture affects your health. And here in Writing 150, I wrote my conference paper on how fat phobia is present through the discrimination towards plus-size people in the fashion industry. I share something promoting body positivity or arguing against diet culture at least weekly on my Instagram account. And I'm not afraid to call someone out on an insensitive comment targeted towards others or even themselves. I believe that taking this action as I do has genuinely made me a better, more loving person. And I am proud of being able to take action for and with people who are trying to make the world a better place. Before I finish, I want to share some body positive people that I look up to and who I am happy to benefit from their impact. One of these is someone you may know, Lizzo. Lizzo is a Black American singer who proudly makes her way in the world as a plus-size woman of color. Few things give me such confidence and empowerment as listening to Lizzo's music. I love thinking that Black girls and fat girls can all look up to her as an example that they are wonderful and loved and valid and they have a place in this world, because for so long they have been told the opposite. Another one a bit closer to home is in the form of the company Rosie June. It is a small business which sells accessories and is based here in Utah. The owner, Lily, shares a lot about her struggles as a plus-size woman, and her business model is largely based around loving your body as it is and celebrating what it can do. I love that Lily is unafraid of sharing imperfect photos of herself. When Rosie June launched their collection celebrating International Women's Day, they shared some powerful images from their photo shoot, which featured women of truly every size, shape, and color. These pictures fill me with awe every time I look at them. Isn't it amazing that we are given bodies? We are blessed with bodies that each look different. No one has the same body as you. And your body is so magical, no matter how many imperfections you might think it has. It knows how to keep you healthy. It knows how to take care of you when you're sick. It knows how to react to danger, how to cool you off when you're hot, how to keep you warm when you're cold. Most majestic of all, it has the power to create life. We are so blessed to have been able to come to earth and been given bodies as good as this. We made the right choice. We are God's greatest creation. Your body takes care of you. Your body loves you. Love it right back. Thank you.